What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm back with my boy. Bro, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I don't. I take breaks when the game gets boring, and I've played everything I can.
But you are playing Mermail, or showing us Mermail today.
Yep. Well, it's Mermail, and then it's, as you know, because of that one card combo, it's a bit of Orcust.
So it's a bit of Orcust, but it's new Orcust because we don't have the PK Bardiche thingy anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you want to say anything, or do you want to just get right into it?
Well, the reason, like, the Orcust combo I think is still really strong. It's viable. The only issue is that it on its own is just doesn't do a lot.
Yeah.
So you always have to, I think ultimately you have to mix it in with another deck so that at least you can make more sustainable boards.
Okay, that makes sense.
Alright, so let's see, where do I begin with this? I think a lot of this will become as pretty standard for most people.
Okay.
You start off with the 3 Mermail Abyss Megalo. Right, we're back with a shiny deck.
Oh, shiny. I like it.
So Megalo, for the person who hasn't tuned in for the last few videos, when you can it has 2 effects. First effect, you can discard 2 waters from your hand to special summon this card from your hand.
Yeah.
When it's summoned that way, you can search for an Abyss spell or trap card. Granted, I don't play one, but it is usable that way.
Yeah, it can come up in like pure builds, right?
The other effect is you can tribute a face-up attack position water monster. This card can attack twice in that turn. And this really comes up a lot if you're going second as a means of OTKing your opponent.
Yep.
This, if you open basically a Neptibus and any water, you essentially have an OTK with just those 2 cards.
Okay.
But most of the time, you'll just be using this as an extender. The other extender, and the more important one, is Mermail Abyss Teus.
Yeah.
Teus lets you discard a water from your hand to special summon it, so 1 less than a Megalo. But when it's summoned, it has a mandatory effect which lets you search for any level 4 or lower Mermail monster.
Okay.
Of which you only play 1 of those targets, and that is 2 Mermail Abyss Gun.
Yep.
So previously, I was playing also in a Mermail Abyss Pike.
Yep.
But I realized the amount of normal summons I was sticking around with was already high enough as it is.
You would see too many.
So there wasn't really a point to have it. Also, realistically, the only thing you'd be searching with that would be an Undyne, but since you already used your normal summon at that point, it was pretty much a bad play going in.
Yeah.
At best, you can make a rank 4, but I just opted to have more extenders by having this early.
Okay.
And that's really all you have for your Mermail engine. To explain what Gun does, though, but when Gun is discarded by any effect, it special summons a Mermail from your graveyard. So this is an extender in just a reborn on its own.
Yep.
Next up, we have the 3
Prince.
Neptibus, Prince of the Atlanteans.
Yep.
His effect is pretty much a heart and soul of the deck. You can send 1, I think, Atlantean monster? Yeah, Atlantean monster from your deck to the graveyard to search for an Atlantean monster.
Yep.
And in most cases, what you'll be sending is
oh baby.
the Atlantean Dragoons.
Freaking baby, yeah.
So Dragoons is your consistency in this deck. When he's sent to the graveyard to activate any water monster effect, you can search for 1 Sea Serpent from your deck.
Okay.
Essentially, with Neptibus, you'll be sending a Dragoon to search another Dragoons. Your Dragoons will then trigger in the graveyard to search for a Sea Serpent, which most cases will be this.
Yep.
However, because of the Orcust engine, you actually have 2 other targets in the deck that you can search your Dragoons that essentially is a 1-card combo.
Okay.
Moving on, the other 2 Atlanteans I play is 1 Pike and 1 Infantry. This you didn't see before, but
yeah.
The ratios for this one is really iffy. There's a lot of times where back row is a thing, but at the same time, this one's popping face-up monsters is huge.
It's pretty big, yeah.
So I play 1 of each. The amount of times I'm going to need 2 of each is rare, but I swap them. I swap them in and out, depending on what I'm going into.
Yep.
So that's your Atlanteans. Next up, we play the Genex Undyne package. Like a lot of other decks, especially when you're playing Orcust, you do need 2-card combos. This in turn is actually 2 to 3-card combo.
Yeah.
When you summon this, it lets you, as a cost, send a water from your deck to the graveyard to search for your controller.
Yep.
Which means you could send cards like Dragoons, trigger that effect to search monsters, or in a lot of cases, you can send Orcust and Rose Nix.
Okay, so what is Rose Nix?
Rose Nix is a Krishna monster, but the first effect is pretty much only exclusive for Krishnons. Okay. The second effect, however, is while it's in your graveyard, you can banish it from your graveyard to summon a Krishnan token. And this token, being a normal monster, is just essentially a free monster you can convert, let's say, into a Link Spider to make plays. Or, in a lot of cases, because you searched the controller, if you were to make this Link Spider, you can then use Link Spider's effect to special summon this.
Okay.
That gets you 3 monsters. You could do what you want with those.
So, Rose Nix is basically just an extender.
It's an extender. Yeah. It's an extender that, because it's also Water 2, there are situations where you could pitch them for Megalo or Teus and still get 2 cards. So it's just a free monster that fits in because of the water attribute.
Okay, sounds good.
So that's that engine. Moving on, we have another engine, the Frog engine.
Yep.
So that's your 3 Swap Frog, 1 Ronin Toad.
Yep.
A lot of times, at worst, this will be used to make your Totally Awesome, which is still an extremely strong card. And combined with the fact that you make Saryuja often, a lot of times you can use can special summon the Swap Frog with Skull Dread, and that essentially reduces the amount of actual discarding you're gonna need to do.
Okay.
And a lot of times, there's a lot of combos where I essentially try to end with Toad, Dingirsu, and then a Deco Talker to have like the board-wide protection of all of those. Where then the Toad will then summon another Swap Frog onto the zone of the Deco Talker, so I have that anti-target negation.
Yep.
The Dingirsu will essentially protect that Toad from being run over, so I can always send the Toad either for Deco Talker or Totally Awesome.
Yep.
Or in worst case scenario, then if it lives, then I can make a second Toad if the first Toad dies somehow. So there's your 3 Swap Frog, 1 Ronin Toad. And also, a lot of times after your Toad, you end up with like two extra Swap Frogs in the graveyard, which then turns the Ronin Toad into a huge link spam.
Yeah.
Then we have the 1 Deep Sea Diva, because it gets you your
Prince.
Your Prince. He special summons 1 Sea Serpent, level 2 Allure, I believe.
Yeah.
When he's normal summon. There's times I actually do summon the Infantry, where Infantry lets me then normal summon an additional 1.
Okay.
And it comes up, but not as much. And then we have the powerhouse of the deck, Mooling Glacier, the Elemental Lord. When you have 5 more waters in, 5 exactly 5 waters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then you take 2 cards of your own hand like a delinquent do it.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that Sea Serpent makes it searchable and is integral in that 1 card Orcust combo.
Okay.
Moving on, we have then the Orcust cards. We play 1 Symbol Skeleton that is found by the 1 Harp Horror, which is dumped by the 1 Orcust Nightmare.
Ooh.
And then, for some people, the Legacy World Wand. So, remember last time I did a video regarding using IB to do this weird rank 9 play?
Yeah.
As it turns out, this is the alternative when you're playing the Orcust engine, where you can actually search this and discard it going forward.
Okay.
It's a fact that essentially is another extender, lets you summon the banished Orcust.
Yeah.
So it's a way for you to also be able to like mess around with Dingirsu's send effect and still get the reborn later.
Okay.
So that's your 4 Orcust. You only actually need to play 4. People tend to say like, oh, you need to play more of this or this. I do play cards to somewhat fix the brick.
Okay.
You play the 1 Lapis Dragon. It's a Sea Serpent, so it's searchable. But when he has 2 effects. When he's added to your hand by any means, you can special summon it.
Okay.
So let's say he's added by a draw, or let's say he's searched in this case by Dragoons, you can special from your hand.
Okay.
If he's added to your hand from the graveyard, same ID. You can special summon from your hand.
So just an extender.
It's just an extender, and it's really good because, in addition to the searching, it's a tuner. It's a level 5 tuner, so there is some interesting Omega plays with this, and it's 2600 defense, which is
pretty good.
Yeah, I played against a game against Arnie, and he couldn't get over it because of that huge defense.
Big defense.
You play the 1 Crown by the World Chalice. This is a skeleton. This comes back from the original that IB play, which still persists. A lot of situations, you once again can use the Undyne to go into the. If you open Undyne and the this card, you can still do the play where you basically go summon Undyne, dump the water, get controller. Then banish the Rose Nix, summon the Link Spider, special summon this, turn this into Link 5, and do Orcust combos this way. So I still play it. It's also because it's water is convenient because it means
even if you draw it.
Yeah, it means I'm still never gonna really brick with it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's water means that if I discard it and I then make IB later, I can then bring it back.
Yep.
We play the 3 Ash. Previously, I was playing either Gamma Seal and Phantasmaze.
Yep.
Phantasmaze, when I messed around with Phantasmaze, it also made me realize that drawing things with Phantasmaze was kind of
because there's too many cards. If you don't want to.
If I actually don't draw into Disruption, I'm still gonna lose the same way, just with 1 more monster.
Yeah.
So I actually started playing Disruption. This is either Ash, this is either Veiler. This is just a form of Disruption that you feel like is going to, on the chance you go second, sustain yourself for a little bit, where then you could push back.
Okay.
I like the Ash because at times consistency will always exist, and you will always.
It's also the most like universal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next card we play is the 1 Orcust Babel.
Yep.
But this is where it gets a little weird. I'm taking a risk with this one. I'm playing 3 Sekka's Light.
Okay.
So people wonder why I'm playing the Babel and then still playing Sekka's Light.
I've seen this before, and this is because you guys can actually add this back from your graveyard to your hand. With its
Yes
own
and
effect.
no. So the way that, as it turns out, Sekka's Light works is that Sekka's
Yeah.
Light can only be activated while you control those spells in your graveyard.
Yeah.
And after you activate, you can't activate any more spell or trap effects and spell or traps
Yeah.
for the rest of the duel.
Yeah.
However, the weird loophole around this is A, if this is never in your graveyard, you can still activate these.
Yeah.
And B, the effect to make the effect of Babel to make your things quick effects is not an activated effect. It's a
Yeah.
continuous effect.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in the off scenario, I can still get this off and then activate Sekka's Light
Yep.
and still get +2.
Yeah.
And this card fixes my hand. And on the off chance I've activated this and I haven't already activated the Babel,
Yeah.
I just don't get it by off of I just wouldn't
Galatea.
get it off of Galatea,
Yeah.
and that's fine as it is.
Yeah.
So this card is pretty much one, your draw 2, but it's also a way to fix all the brick that you might have.
Okay.
You might draw into your Nightmare and then need to put it back. You might draw into your controller or your crown, and this is just a way to get it back in the deck, get a +2, and then later on also get. Actually, it's a plus. You're seeing 3 new cards essentially.
Yeah.
And that I think is extremely powerful. It makes a lot of the inherent issues of awkward draws in Mermails a little better, and it makes your Orcust plays a little more fluid.
Okay. So for the extra deck?
Extra deck.
Yep.
Starting off with Synchro Monsters, you play still the one Ib, now in German, I think,
Hey.
or French. French even better.
Yeah, it's foreign.
The one Cyframe Little Omega. This you most times will use this to go into this,
Yep.
but there are times I've actually used a level 3 and the Sea Serpent tuner, level 5 tuner to make this.
Yep.
And this is just another way to put your opponent with less cards going forward.
Yep.
You play the one Totally Awesome because you play the Swap Flock
Package, yeah.
You play the Draco Sack, which because as it turns out, Orcust Nightmare is a level 7.
Yep.
You go into this a lot as an extender.
Okay.
If you open let's say a Teus and a way to do the Orcust combo,
Yep.
instead of actually using the Nightmare to just directly link into Galatea, you turn that into a Draco Sack, and then if you have enough cards with that extender, you can make a Saryuja hopefully draw into more cards, and then do the Orcust combo.
Okay. So it gives you another option.
Yep. You play the one Ningirsu, because we can do that now.
Orcust.
And that's your receipts for now. Next up, for the links, you play the one Mermaid.
Yep.
It's a water, so if you pitch waters, like Dragoons, you get their effects.
Yep.
Link Spider, because, well, you have no
Because Link
monsters
Spider, yeah.
as well. Cerberus, Phoenix. I always try to figure out which one I'm going to make when I do that combo first, because a lot of times where if you use the one, you end up realizing you need the other later, and
Yeah.
that really sucks. You play the one.
It depends on the matchup, I guess. Because like if you know you're
Yeah.
playing against a deck with a bunch of back row, you'll hit the Cerberus first and then keep the Phoenix for later kind of thing.
A lot of times I end up making just this. I make the Cerberus because there's not a lot of situations where you have the situation I get out is a monster in the main monster zone that's special summon.
Yeah.
So this is a little better. The one Galatea, the one Longirsu. Longirsu, as it turns out, it's actually a really strong effect where you can put back
2 machines.
2 machines from your banish zone to send cards non-targeting that are linked.
Yeah.
And it ends up there's a lot of situations where you end with this and then in Girsu, and you can use this because it's pointing this way to take out extra monsters, your opponent's extra deck.
Yep.
Play the one Decode Talker because it's great to end on that. You play the one BLS. So this card is the newest edition coming from BLR.
How do you feel with BLS?
It's really strong when you just really don't have much else and you just need a good tanky monster.
Okay.
If you use a level 7 or higher, which is actually a lot of easy
the deck,
monsters,
yeah, a lot of the deck.
what ends up happening is that he becomes a Chaos Max. He can't be targeted by card effects, can't be destroyed by card effects.
Yep.
But when he starts running over things, then he gets additional things. He either starts banishing your opponent's cards, gaining attack, where he goes to 4,500, or he gets 2 attack next turn, and you really start profiting.
Yep.
So I play that, and I play the one Skull Dread.
Yep.
You haven't noticed this is actually 14 cards.
Okay.
I'm kind of struggling to figure out what I want for my 15th. It always swaps out, so I'm still messing around with it. But I sometimes argue it could be a Boar Sword. It could also be another Link 2, like another Galatea, if you want to
be a second
have a
Toad.
bit of fluidity, another Toad, because I actually do end up sometimes needing one.
Yep.
So it's a lot of options.
Yep.
And that pretty much
Does it for the deck profile.
I do have a side deck.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah, we'll love to take a look at
The
the
amount of
side
times I used it is not high. The 3 Gamma Seal, because
Yep.
sometimes you just really need to get rid of that Colossus.
Yep. Oh.
You play the 3 Prankatops,
Yep.
which these are all this side is also going to be all monsters because I can't play spells.
Yeah.
3 Panic Knocks for that removal. This I actually played against heroes, and this is my out for heroes a lot of times. The 3 Danko Seka.
Yep.
Very powerful. The 3 Bell. I play the Bell because a lot of times you do get Call the Haunted really is bad for your deck. It hurts a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
So you do that, and there's enough recursion from graveyard where seeing it could be clutch.
Okay.
And then the 2 are the other infantry and the Atlantean for
whatever you need them
Yeah.
in whatever matchup.
Yep. And this is again, I think this is actually 15, I believe. Yeah, this is actually 15. So
Yeah.
we're good on the math.
Okay. So how do you feel about this deck? What do you think? Is it consistent? What do you feel about it?
Taking into the tournaments I have, it's really consistent. There's a lot of games where going first or second, you always,
We'll end on
if you
something.
know what you're doing, you will always be able to push through. Going second, I played against Cyber Dragons where the mistake was I actually tried to go first, realizing if I went second, I probably just could have killed him.
Yeah.
But going first, you make massive boards depending on what you see.
Yeah.
But because of the Saryuji and the amount of draws, you can make massive boards and still end up
have-
with amount of cards. Like I think one game my end board was a Saryuja, a Toad, a Dingirsu. After I also Moon Glaciered him, and then I Cypher Overloaded.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, with going in with 2 cards in hand, with 1 negate going in, and then protection for the Toad, so that your opponent can cheese his way through it. Of
Okay.
course, that doesn't stop
Okay.
Vision Hero.
So oh yeah.
Trinity.
Trinity. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for the deck profile.
I do have a combo video if you want to actually
yeah.
see it.
I'd love to see a combo.
So, as you remember, the previous combo back then, I said if you open these 2, you can take 3 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
And there's a slight variation to that now because of the lack of
The-
spells, but also the increase of
Orcust.
Orcus.
Yep.
So we'll do this again, where you discard the Dragoons.
Yep.
Summon the Teus. You search for both of these. This is searching a Sea Serpent. In this case, you'll be searching for your Diva.
Yep.
And then the Dragoons, or not Dragoons, the Teus will be searching for your Gund.
Okay.
You're going to normal summon the Deep Sea Diva and special summon from your deck
The Prince.
the Prince. Prince will then activate, sending you another Dragoons to search the last Dragoons. Or Dragoons, because it was sent, will search you Megalo.
Okay.
I'm going to link these 2 away. Now this time, to make... You're supposed to make a link... Oh, right there. I need a link 2 for this still. So one of these is supposed to link 2. That's my me are missing. But essentially, you're supposed to have a... I realize now, you need a Mistar Boy still. Or any link 2 that points double.
Okay, so I'm a Star Boy.
Yeah. That's what I forgot. Then, what you're going to activate from here is you're going to pitch these 2
Yep.
to summon the Megalo.
Sure.
Now, your Gund and your Dragoons and your Gund will trigger. Your Dragoons will summon this. Or your Gund will
Your
summon
guns
this.
will summon that, and then
And your
Dragoons
Dragoons will search for
Really?
Mulan. Yep.
Okay.
Glorious Mulan, wherever you are. Now, as you may notice, you actually have 5 waters. But first, to free up some space, we're going to overlay these 2 to summon your Draco Sack.
Okay.
Then, we drop this, Mulan your opponent for 2.
Okay, so that's 2 cards out of your opponent's hands.
Right. Then we're going to detach this, summon 2 tokens. This time, I actually have tokens.
Hey.
In the synchro with this, and one of the tokens, to summon your Ib. Ib will search for a War Legacy card.
Okay.
In this case, though, the War Legacy card is your wand.
Okay.
You're then going to synchro with this. You're going to then synchro with this Ib and the
Token?
other token. Summon your Omega.
Okay.
Then you're going to banish your Omega. Take another card of your opponent's hand.
So 3 cards out of your opponent's hand.
Yeah. However, at the same time, your Ib will also trigger, summon you Crown.
Okay.
You're then going to synchro with the link 2 you have and this, and then proceed with your Orcus combo. You're going to summon probably the Cerberus.
Yep.
Then go away the Cerberus. Summon the Mermaid. Mermaid is now going to pitch the wand, so now your wand is in the graveyard.
No,
Don't have to
yeah,
worry about
so
that
flat.
anymore. And summon your Nightmare. You do proceed to do your Nightmare combos from here. Wherever the Galatea is, do the Galatea, banish this. Banish the Nightmare, dump the Harpor, banish the Harpor.
Summon Symbol.
Symbol Skeleton.
Yep.
You then link away the Symbol Skeleton and this. Make here Dingirsu. You banish the Symbol Skeleton, summon the or you summon it here at least. Summon the Galatea, and you can have a few options here. You can at this point now, first off, you'll be using Galatea's effect, putting back, let's say, the Nightmare, because now you don't have any really Orcus or actually, you could be probably putting back the Harpour because this is probably the most. You're gonna end up shuffling back more because of this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put back the Harpour.
And put the Babel.
Put the Babel online. Then you're gonna convert this into your Dingirsu.
Put back the symbol.
The symbol. And then you're gonna banish the wand to summon back your Nightmare.
Yep.
And you can do a few weird things in this case. At times, I would just link these two away, or I'd link this to make a Decode Talker. At times, these three are what becomes your Decode Talker. You don't want to get rid of this because you actually do want your battle phase next turn.
Yep.
But at worst case scenario, you have the option of linking these three away, even though you think that's an amount of egg, or linking this away to make the Decode Talker.
Yep.
So now your end board essentially has a Decode Talker for the negation protection.
Yep.
But a lot of times, as it is, I just kind of leave these on the board. Or I just get rid of these two to make something like the other Nightmare monster, just so I can get rid of them get rid of them somehow.
Yeah.
Because while they're in the graveyard, two things will happen. A, you now have Ascend with Dingirsu.
Yep.
B, you could just trigger this at any time. Now you have two, and your opponent you now have 2 arrows pointing to your opponent's zones that you can now
So
start
if they summon anything there, it bounces back or sends?
It sends it to the graveyard.
Sends.
So now you have 2 sends essentially.
Send. 3 cards are out of their hand.
Yep. And you still have a Draco Sack for another removal next turn.
Okay.
And that is
That's basically the combo.
That's mind you with 2 cards. Now assuming that hasn't even before you've activated Second's Light immediately after this.
Yeah, who knows what else you have after. You could continue going from there.
Right. So yeah, that's the hand combo. The other, I guess, interesting thing you could what ends up happening a lot of times is if you just open a level 7 and Teus for the Orcust combo. Once again, like I said, you can when you summon the Mermaid and you summon the too many cards everywhere. When you summon the Mermaid and you summon the Nightmare, if you already have the Teus still, you overlay these two to make the Draco Sack.
Yep.
And then you detach this.
And then you can continue going from there. And then you can use the token.
Mind you, you will drop the Moon and Glacier still. Still have the 2 tokens. And a lot of times you could use the token, this, and this.
So a different way to do the same combo, essentially.
Yeah, you could use those 4, I believe, to end and make a Saryuja, which then you draw as 4. If you draw into the Toad at that point, you know you're going to end on Dingirsu Toad.
Okay, yeah.
And
that's dope.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways. This deck has a lot more, I guess, ceiling.
This is the most basic. Like without this is the most basic of combos.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like the most basic.
If you open as long as you open a level 7 actually, because there's scenarios I've opened just 7 and this.
Yeah.
And I still end on Moon and Glacier and then the Saryuja play.
The Saryuja play. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for the profile. Thank you for the combo. That was actually kind of dope. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like. Tony's gonna be back on the channel. You know how it always is. And with that, guys, Spanko signing out.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this. Cross my shit.